Gee, I wonder how things are going over at Davos.
But when I see this, when I look at this,
Today, Junior?
As you got to be careful when you're lying, as Davos actually came out and revealed some big revelations, as I think it's fair to say that they're saying the quiet part out loud, especially when it comes to their admission of a compliance test that they ran against us, as clearly there are some major bombshells being dropped, specifically when it comes to medicating us through the water, when it comes to changing the weather, while lecturing us specifically about how we need to do more to, quote, save the climate as they fly in on their private jets. As the Pfizer CEO also made some eye-opening comments, as well as Bill Gates that talked about his now master plan for artificial intelligence healthcare systems, as Donald Trump came out and also said some shocking things that I think truly deserve to be talked about, as a lot of people are saying, where's the charges? Where's the responsibility? When and where are we actually going to get somewhere, as humanity now is at the brink of full-on, total, totalitarian, technocratic takeover? So yeah, we're going to be talking about that here on this brand new channel. Thank you for everyone for subscribing and being a part of this new channel and this new experiment that we are all a part of, as probably this video probably will tank the algorithm liking us. But anyway, it's worth talking about, and if you appreciate it, just subscribe here. Now, Alex Soros came out, seen previously with Gavin Newsom, taking a lot of photos with a lot of very liberal, woke, democratic type of politicians, as right now, the conversations that are happening at this globalist confab in Davos, Switzerland, I think are of key utmost importance when it comes to understanding what is happening globally and the bigger plans that are afoot here when it comes to implementing and pushing certain agendas out there, as James O'Keefe even infiltrated Davos, as he specifically represented himself as a climate executive that literally modifies the weather with chemtrails. And he met a lot of people that are, wow, yeah, this is great, this is awesome, this is incredible. As people are saying, this is the perfect representation of Davos backstage. This is from Lionel Media that hit it out the park here. It's very interesting when we look at almost all of their bigger kind of initiatives, it all boils down to one type of thesis, and that is, how can we tax, enslave, and lock people down and eviscerate their wealth and their freedoms? As a lot of people are saying, hey, there should be a bigger dialogue here, especially the people lecturing us about keeping our air conditioning down, that literally take private jets, as they tell us that we need to buy electric cars, ban gas stoves, and, quote, eat bugs, as a lot of the climate hysteria is met with a lot of the climate hypocrisy, as there's a lot of underhanded, weird behaviors, as now we're getting reports of workers of the night being demanded to be paid in gold, silver, Bitcoin. That's clearly the old monetary system isn't doing too well, as the World Economic Forum is eyeing technocratic artificial intelligence as their latest type of psyop, in my own personal opinion. Now, this document, allegedly from the World Economic Forum, is being shared around a lot by people on the internet, as people are saying the World Economic Forum has admitted COOF was just a giant-ish test for public compliance. As it reads, COOF 19 was the test of social responsibility. A huge number of unimaginable restrictions for public health were adopted by billions of citizens across the world. There were numerous examples globally of maintaining social distancing, wearing masks, taking a procedure, and accepting of contact tracing, which demonstrated the core individual social, quote, responsibility. As Dr. Greg Smith responds here by saying, the bees are something else. Look at this statement. It was just issued at Davos. COOF didn't demonstrate individual social responsibility. It demonstrated how people can be conned by men in white overcoats. Look at the Milgram experiment. That's a crazy experiment that really highlighted how people could abuse their positions of authority in order to have other human beings do unexcusable human acts of horror. Quote, it also showed how people cannot think for themselves. Now, most people in Western nations just sit back and don't recognize what's going on with forced replacement immigration, the imposition of digital ID, and money, warmongering, and the list goes on here. As of course, you go on the World Economic Forum, and it is just absolutely talking about, oh, AI is going to be great. We're going to definitely now advance manufacturing and supply chains with robots. Elon Musk is up there saying, yeah, you're going to be able to buy a robot soon. The robot's going to make your life easier. As of course, who's going to be controlling the robots, making the robots, and how will that larger type of transfer of wealth? Listen, there's a reason the World Economic Forum is talking about AI, because they see it as an opportunity to gobble up not just the world's resources, which they already are with all their data centers and energy productions and nuclear reactor productions that even Facebook is getting into in order to feed their data centers and their AIs. But they see it like a COOF, like a perfect opportunity for them to pillage and rob everyone else of their wealth. As right now, we have very eye-opening statements from a lot of people at Davos talking about literally medicating us through water. As there's also going to be serious conversations about the shortage of water. That's going to be, of course, something that is going to be a very serious issue that the world's going to be dealing with. Now, before talking about that and a lot more, just really quickly, we wanted to tell you about wearechange.shop. You want to hold water and actually retain it? Creatine's really great for that. But another great supplement that we have available to you is our essential fatty fish oil from small fish. I love fish. I love to eat fish, but lots of fish are also contaminated with heavy metals, things like mercury. I always kind of question what I'm getting. When you get our fish oil, you get it from small fish. Small fish that are less likely to have a lot of those hazardous chemicals inside of it. As of course, I just saw this on Twitter, as a new study shows something wild, that fish oil can, quote, build muscle and burn fat simultaneously. Quote, yes, one supplement, two opposite goals, one result. As a new study in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition, for 6 weeks, adults took fish oil, and the research tracked that they got leaner muscles, more fat mass, resting metabolic rate, cortisol, stress levels were all impacted in a positive way. As the fish oil group showed more lean muscle, less body fat, lower cortisol, better overall metabolism. Listen, not everything is right for every unique type of individual. There's a reason Eskimos really love fish, and they thrive off of fish, and their diet is based off fish. I'm a Slavic person. I've been thriving off of fish. I've been doing really well off of fish. It works for me. It might work for you. Do your own homework, do your own research, talk to any kind of medical professional, and delve into just making sure that whatever you're taking is right for you on a one-on-one individual basis. That's not something that someone selling stuff wants usually tells you, but that's what we're telling you. If it's not right for you, don't buy it. Other people are like, buy. And I'm like, no. I want to have good chichu. I want to have good karma out there, making sure that I actually did good. I want to make sure you guys are good, as there's other people that are literally telling you that you need to eat bugs and freaking obey and be a good slave. I'm saying no. Be strong, because when you're strong, you're able to resist a lot of the different mind viruses out there that are meant to conquer and subjugate you. And they prey off of your weaknesses. And this is why I started wearechange.shop. Check it out. The link is down in the description below. Now, it's pretty fair to say that during the COOF years, global leaders tested people's willingness to obey. And they just admitted it at Davos. Now, I think there's a bigger conspiracy regarding the COOF here, personally, with how it was developed. I think there might have even been, and I don't have any proof of this, but this is just my theory, a deliberate release of this, in order to create all of the climate change type of regulations that were just easily implemented, that they've been calling for, that they weren't able to get through unless there was a big national emergency. And once a specific group of people gain power by creating by dealing with emergencies, it's only going to be a matter of time until they start creating those emergencies to give themselves more power and authority. And when we look at the CUF years, they have given themselves tremendous amount of authority over us, while also at the same time enriching themselves wildly while they were locking us down inside of our own homes and arresting us for being in parks. Destroying small mom and pop businesses while telling us to binge Netflix and go on Amazon and only go to places like Walmart. I'm sorry, but that was a technocratic, globalistic psyop run on the people of the world that truly was evil. And I do believe that there should be some justice regarding this through the legal process of a system that could actually hold individuals like Dr. Fauci accountable for what clearly had all of his fingerprints all over this. Not just making this, but also curating the response to this. As right now, the people at Davos are saying, yeah, we didn't manage to force our product on everyone. Now, some people, of course, complied willingly. As now, they're talking about, hey, there's going to be a shortage of water. We should control that water. And then we could add that procedure to the water, and then we could forcefully medicate everyone with what we want them to be medicated with. As now there's larger kind of conversations and things going off in my mind about nanoparticles and nanorobots and smart dust and type of tech that, of course, could very easily, just like it can revive and utilize our kind of resources to be the strongest, best version of ourselves. That's not what they're going to be doing. That's not what happened after the CUF years, right? When we look at the procedure that was forced on everyone, you can't say people are happier, healthier, stronger, more resilient, better than ever, as of course we have seen very serious illnesses, very serious cardiac problems arise in correlation with this kind of mass rollout of this product that we paid for and made sure that there was no liability against. Now that was the most criminal element. It's like, yeah, you wanna enter this country, you better take this product, or you just can't. Denying people obviously clear civil rights violations unless you buy a product that I paid for with my tax dollars that we're paying for again. And now if I get hurt by it, I can't do anything about it. Evil people, as of course, when we look at the mindset of some of these deranged human beings, this is what they're saying openly. Imagine what they're saying privately.
And globally, did we solve that? Like, did we actually manage to vaccinate everyone in the world? No.
Thank goodness.
So highlighting water as a global commons and what it means to work together and see it both out of that kind of global commons perspective, but also the self-interest perspective, because it does have that parallel. It's not only important, but it's also important because we haven't managed to solve those problems which had similar attributes. And water is something that people understand. You know, climate change is a bit abstract. Some people understand.
No, it's a psyop meant to, of course, rob the middle class of their wealth and to make everything more expensive so the elites enrich themselves with taxes that are just arbitrarily made up for air.
Really well. Some understand it a bit. Some just don't understand it. Water. Every kid knows how important it is to have water. When you're playing football and you're thirsty, you need water. So there's also something about really getting citizen engagement around this and really, in some ways, experimenting with this notion of the common good. Can we actually deliver this time in ways that we have failed miserably?
I'm happy you failed miserably, but stay out of the water. As the Pfizer CEO, Albert Bourla, who in my opinion needs to be criminally charged, literally was being interviewed by the Wall Street Journal. And it looked like he had a meltdown because there's a number of people that were refusing these procedures that, of course, he fudged the data on. And we look at a lot of the kind of clinical research that was done early on. Lots of people who were hurt were just excluded from the study and the findings. And then the data was presented in a fudged way. And then there's different forms of the product. Some that were given to tests, some that were given to the general public, others were given to specific regions and territories, as we still do not know exactly what the hell happened. And therefore, that's why I say we need a full-on investigation. And RFK Jr. and Rand Paul have come to Pam Bondi and given her the paperwork and said, hey, we have criminal referrals here for someone who lied to us, lied to the American people, and we need to hold these people accountable. And Pam Bondi's like, hold on, I got a Fox News interview to do. Oop, I lost that criminal referral. As Albert Bourla came out and was like, oh, we have to replace RFK Jr. RFK Jr. is bad, really? as the exact opposite of RFK Jr. is, of course, Bill Gates, a man tied into the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, whose own wife said that she had to divorce him because he wouldn't stop hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. You see why? You see why holding the Epstein client list accountable is so important? As Bill Gates is at Davos right now saying, listen, we're going to roll out a new AI healthcare system. Yay. As of course, it's going to all be tied in, not with just your health, biometric ID, digital payment IDs. Palantir already is working with companies like Oura Ring, getting all of your personal data and information from you. Lots of all of these health tracking companies, you can't get your data unless you upload it first, which is, I think, insane. I remember having a Whoop. I was like, oh, I like Whoop. All right. I was out somewhere without any internet. I was like, okay, what's my data? I'm like, no, we're not going to give you your data unless you upload it first. I'm like, get out of here. And I'm paying a subscription for this? Get out of here. Screw you. And I was so sick and tired of that type of nonsense out there. Anyway, this is what Bill Gates announced at the World Economic Forum.
So the AI is entering into the health system, but not just into the health system, it's all the way down to the level of the patient. So the patient is able to talk in their local language and describe what's going on. And so in order to make this a reality, to see what works, what doesn't work.
Look at that evil, sinister, like smile, smirk, laugh, because he knows he's not saying the quiet part out loud.
We're thrilled that OpenAI and the Gates Foundation are committing an initiative called Horizon 1000, where we'll go into 1,000 primary healthcare clinics in Africa. And the goal is to make the work there much higher quality and, if possible, twice as efficient as it is today, taking away the paperwork that needs to be done, organizing the resources, so the
seeing who's compliant, who's not, whose opinions should be punished. As of course, if you remember during the Koof years, if you were a white male, there were interventions like antibodies that were implemented. But in some woke jurisdictions, even in places like Texas, if you were a white guy, nurses were caught on video saying, sorry, you don't qualify for this life-saving type of tech because you're a white guy. As the person was dying, and they were like, you can have the antibodies now. The antibodies, cool.
Patient knows what's available and when to come for their appointment. So there's all sorts of things that can be improved. Rwanda has been a great partner for the Gates Foundation in a lot of things. And
that's where all the corrupted politicians are just bought off very easily.
So, we're thrilled that that's actually the first country that this work will go into. We'll certainly also, over time, work in Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria, and you have, different systems that we have to connect into.
Yep, national identification systems that, of course, track, trace, and database every little thing about you.
Although not this initiative, there's obviously a lot going on in India as well. And so, over the next couple of years, I would expect developing world health may even get ahead of rich world because the need is so great. And the governments are embracing this and making sure that it's moving at full speed.
Yeah, just like in China, where people were reported to be sick and then their entire buildings were locked down and they were locked into it as some people starved to death. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that was the end game plan of all of this, total imprisonment. And it was the procedure that, in my opinion, and according to some medical professionals, that prolonged it and prevented natural immunity from taking place here. As Donald Trump now was bragging about Operation Warp Speed again.
And so it began. And we ended up with the COVID and the whole world suffered. We did a phenomenal job. I don't think we got the credit we deserved.
You deserve no credit for that. There should have been some liability. There should have been some protections on the consumers. As of course, you set up the perfect playground for the Biden administration to force this on everyone and then to create the medical discrimination policies that violated people's civil rights.
We did something that Operation Warp Speed, which some people say was one of the greatest military feats ever. We did a great job. Used our military,
military feats if it came to, of course, taking people out. As right now, Liz Wheeler came out and talked about how she believes Pam Bondi was paid off by Pfizer and why there are recommendations on her desk by RFK, by Rand Paul, that she's not following through on right now. And that to me deserves a very serious conversation. If you agree, share this video. Take care of your health. Do your own research before putting anything into your own body, guys. And this is what we always preach. And this is not what you always hear from a freaking vitamin salesman. But again, do your own homework. I'm trying to be as healthy and as happy as I can. Why? Because they got away with it before. They're probably going to run it again, but they probably won't need to, especially with all this AI, national ID, identification type of surveillance systems that they're establishing, that they're building, that they're creating huge data centers that will be essentially their new lords and gods of this earth. As Elon Musk was talking about, yeah, just a few years, it's going to be smarter. AI is going to be smarter. They don't have collective consciousness. Where's that going to go? These people think they can control it. These people think that they could live forever. They probably already can, especially with all the secret tech that they have that they haven't released yet to the general public. I'm saying we need more conversations about this. You agree, share. Thank you so much for supporting my business at wearechange.shop. I'm going to be here for you guys doing that, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange. No, youtube.com/LukeRadowski76. I forgot, this is on the second channel. Second channel is doing great. It's awesome. Luke Radowski 76. See you there.